I'm Edie Lush. I'm the executive editor at Hub Culture. Here in Davos, it's 2023. Very pleased to have one of our partners, Sabic, step into the studio. Thanks for coming along.
No, thank you for having me.
Dr. Bob Maughon, Chief Technology Officer and Chief Sustainability Officer at Sabic. So tell me a little bit about why you're here at Davos. I love, one of my favorite places to be in Davos is in the Ice House, which is all about innovation for the circular economy. I know that you're passionate about the circular carbon economy. Tell me a bit about what you're doing here.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. I mean, look, this is a critical time for our industry, right? When it comes to challenges we're facing, like addressing a low carbon future and dealing with circular solutions for our products, these are the kind of topics that are central to many of the discussions going on here. Many of the innovators, many of the leaders and the regulators that are involved in that discussion are here. And so it's important to be a part of that conversation and to help drive our agenda to solve those challenges.
So tell me about the kind of innovations that you've made over the last few years, and then I'm going to ask you about what you've done here in Davos.
Sure. Well, no, we're on the topic of low carbon, right? We made our commitments now over a year and a half ago around delivering on a low carbon future with our commitment on our 2030 commitment of 20% reduction and our carbon neutrality target of 2050. And with that has become a host of innovations, whether it's looking at driving efficiency in our processes, whether it's addressing increase in renewable power, which we're doing, or delivering breakthrough innovations on electrification. We made a big announcement now about a year ago with BASF and Linde to develop an electric cracker, which is a way to deliver a zero carbon footprint cracker. So a lot of innovations on delivering a low carbon future. And as well, we've been building innovations here, specifically at the Ice House over several years around our circular plastic solutions and our True Circle portfolio. And that's really around bringing a holistic combination of advanced recycling, mechanical recycling, design for recycling solution, and bio-based solutions as well to the market to help address the circular future for plastics.
So tell me about the announcement you're making here in Davos this year.
Yeah, we're really excited to be here at the Ice House. We've announced this week that we're committing to 1 million tons of recycled content produced through our products using advanced and mechanical recycling solutions as well as bio-based products. So really committing in 2030 to deliver that 1 million ton per year on a run rate basis, to showing that we see it as a critical part of our portfolio for the future, building on the innovations that we've made, but also investments and partnerships that we're bringing forward in the coming months and years.
So let's dive into that a little bit more. What are the kinds of products or the kinds of solutions that you're going to see coming out of this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we made in 2019 our first big step on advanced recycling. That we were the first company to bring forward advanced recycling commercial products onto the market. We did that in our facilities in Helene in the Netherlands. We're about to launch the first commercial scale unit for that process, which will be operational in the second quarter of this year. And we have plans for further scale up of those types of facilities in the Netherlands, but also globally. And that's really part of a roadmap to get us towards that 1 million ton target. But we're also investing significantly in mechanical recycling solutions because we see that as a critical complementary part of delivering on circular plastics. But we're also closely engaged with our customers on design for recycling. At the end of the day, we need to make packages more simple, more easy to recycle, more designed to meet the needs of a recycling future. So you're going to see a host of these announcements coming out.
I mean, as a person who receives a few Amazon packages a day and opens them up and discards the bits of plastic inside, and I kind of fret every time I wonder as I put my piece of plastic into the recycling. Yeah. So just talk me through that future of what it will look like with the kinds of solutions that you're building.
Yeah, no, it's important in these challenges to work throughout the whole value chain, engaging with customers in e-commerce like Amazon, engaging with retailers, engaging with brands, to design fit-for-purpose packaging solutions to meet the needs of the market. I think, for your example with Amazon, many of our applications are over-designed today. There's more packaging than is necessary, and the key for us is to bring solutions that can enable simpler design formats that meet the needs for the application, but are not over-designed to meet those needs, right? So protecting products, protecting in food packaging the freshness of the product, for example, or protecting it from damage, but not over-designing excess packaging into that material. So a lot of our work is directly with those customers in the value chain, so whether it's the brands or the retailers or in the e-commerce side, on what the true needs are for those packages, and then developing the resins on our side, and that's where we're focused, is what are the materials that you can use to develop solutions for packaging that allow less material to be used but in the right format.
And when you think about the future, the packaging, the resins that you're needing to use, the recyclability and the circular carbon economy. What's the kind of scale of the challenge? How much is out there already that could be recycled and isn't at the moment?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, recycling rates are not where they need to be, right? I mean, and depending on, which type of material and how you look at it, you're in that 10 to 15% global recycling rate.
Right.
It's not where it needs to be.
No.
Some of that can be solved by better design of packaging formats that allow for more recyclability. But also, we have to invest in the whole infrastructure, right? And so, we're used to thinking of our traditional value chain of the producer through to the retailer or the brand. We have to engage the waste management infrastructure in that equation. So it's why we're engaged in many organizations to help drive that piece of it. So we're founding members for the Alliance to End Plastic Waste and very connected on infrastructure investments in the emerging markets where the waste issue is the greatest to help solve the collection, sortation, and bringing the cost and scalability of that down, because that's going to be what's critical to delivering the plastic needed for the recycling efforts. So we feel like we can address the recycling technologies. But we've got to bring the collection, sortation, and distribution of that into a much better place if we're going to be competitive.
So take me to a future. How much new plastic will need to be created in 2050, for example? Or can you see a future in which actually we've created all the plastic we want to, and it's just a sense of how we recycle it?
That's a great question. Look, I think for sure when we look at our projections, you're going to see increasing levels of recycling content and therefore diminished demand for virgin plastic production. Having said that, if I balance that, there's also a growth in material needs across the world also for those applications. So it's going to be a balance of how do you meet the growth needs for the emerging markets where they're using more and more of those materials, and how to get a larger percentage of that content as recycled to do that. So that's where we're focused. I mean, again, that's why the initial target in 2030 of the 1 million tons, which is let's commit to how much we're going to bring forward that's going to be used in recycling solutions, and then continue to advance the scale of that. But we can't advance the scale unless we address the infrastructure challenge at the same time, because we need to make sure that plastic is available to be recycled.
What role do governments have to play in all of this?
Well, they play a critical part, right? And they play a critical part as a partner with industry to help drive the right regulation to help enable this, right? I mean, if I think about cases, and I'll just use my geography in the U.S. where I'm based, when there's more incentive for the waste management infrastructure to landfill versus to recycle, that's not the right environment, right? Because these materials have inherent energy value and chemical value. They need to be treated with that value, and therefore we need to recognize that there's cost and value associated with that material. But if we can do that and get this into the equation, there's tremendous ways that we can recycle the plastic.
Fantastic. Really interesting. I'd love to continue the conversation. Come back next year and
Will do.
tell me more.